Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I will walk you through something which I have built, on my own. So basically, I have built a file uploader. Now it sounds very simple, but in reality it is not, because it's not just a simple file upload. Here I have handled chunking as well, which means that when you upload a 1 GB file, the 1 GB file does not get transmitted over the network, but we slice the file into chunks, and let's say 5 MB chunks, and then each of the chunks is uploaded to the server. So that is what I have implemented. So I will walk you through my entire code as well as the architecture. Okay. So let me just give you a small demo of what is happening over here. So let's say I choose a file. Now I'll choose a short file for now. So let me choose something. Okay, this is 50 MB. Let me choose a shorter one. Okay, let's go ahead with a 25 MB file. So now I'll upload it over here. See, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened till now because I've not clicked on the upload button. Okay, our console is empty. Our network tab is empty. Now let me click on the upload button. See what just really happened. We have hit many endpoints. So let's go through all of them one by one. Okay. First is this /upload/init. So what are we doing over here? So here we send the file name and the size. So this is the file size, 25 MBs. Okay. And in response, what do we get? We are getting the upload ID and the chunk size. Now, what is this upload ID? This upload ID is, let's say, a unique ID which uniquely identifies this particular upload session. So think of it as a session ID. Okay, that would make it clear for you. And the chunk size. So this is basically 5 MBs. So if you multiply 5 into 1024 into 1024, you would get this number, which means that the server is supporting a chunk size of 5 MBs and our file was of 25 MBs. So how many chunks would we create? 5, correct? 25 by 5. So here we have created 5 chunks, and each of these chunks are hitting this endpoint /upload/ the upload ID, chunk, and then the chunk index. Okay. In the payload, we send the actual byte. So this is the actual file. Okay. And in the response, we get an status, we get the chunk index, and again we get the upload ID. So you can see for all of these 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have almost the similar payload. Okay. We simply send the file. Okay. And in response, we get the upload ID, chunk index, and the status. Now, when all of the chunks are uploaded, we hit the complete endpoint. This basically tells us that all the chunks are now uploaded. Okay, so we hit /upload/upload ID, complete endpoint. So here, if we see, what are we sending? We are sending okay, so here we are getting one response. We are getting the manifest path. Okay. So manifest is basically, let's say, a file which captures the metadata against this file. Okay, whatever the metadata was, and the status, total number of chunks, and the received number of chunks. So all of that metadata is stored in the manifest.json. Okay. So if you want, we can view the manifest over here. See. So this is what manifest.json is. We have the upload ID. We have the file name. Okay. We have the file size 25 MBs, and we have the chunk size, which was 5 MBs total chunks, and then information about each of the chunks, the chunk index, chunk size, chunk path, and created at and completed at. Okay. Now you would be thinking, where is this? Where are these chunks residing? Okay. We have mentioned here a path, uploads. Now, as I said, I am using Docker. Okay. Which means I'm running containers. Okay. So my backend code is also inside containers, right? So if I go here and if I go to my chunk flow backend container, I can see the files. Okay. Now I'm storing all the files in /app. So here we have the uploads directory. Inside it, we can see this upload ID or the session ID. Okay. Here we have all the chunks. So this is basically my file. Like if I combine all of these, I'll get my file. Okay. This is manifest.json. Okay. So if I want to view it, I can click on this and I can view it over here. So it has the upload ID, the file name, and all of the other metadata about individual chunks. And this is the session.json. So this holds the, again, some metadata about the file and the, upload stuff and all of that. So yeah, this is what we are doing over here. I'll also just walk you through the code once. Okay. So let's start from the button which I clicked. I clicked on the upload button. I hit this handle file upload function. Once I went to the handle file upload, I am managing my file on this state. Okay. Set file. So basically whenever I upload the file is set in the file variable over here. Okay. So now here what I do is, let's not go into this. What I do is, since it is a fresh upload, we don't have upload ID yet. Okay. So we hit the /upload/init endpoint. And what do we send? We send the file name and the size. Okay. So let's check what that endpoint is doing. So in here, we have the, let me just close this. Yeah. We have the /upload/init endpoint. Okay. So we call our service. So let's go to this function in our service, init upload. So we first validate the request. We have some validations. Let's ignore that for now. We generate a random upload ID. We get the chunk size from our properties, which is configured as 5 MB. We calculate the total chunks, simple division stuff. And we create a session. So this upload session is basically holding some of the metadata for us. So we create the session and we return the response. What do we return in the response? The upload ID and the chunk size. We have already seen this in the network tab. Okay. Over here, we send the upload ID and the chunk size. Now what happens? Let's move back to our app.jsx. It receives the upload ID and it receives the chunk size. Okay. Now what we do over here is we iterate through all the chunks. And we basically slice our file. This is the file. This is basically, think of it as bytes, array of bytes. Okay. And we slice those bytes on the basis of the start and the end, which we have calculated on the basis of the chunk index. Okay. So for index 0, like we'll start at 0 cross chunk size, which is basically 0, and then we calculate the end byte and we create a chunk over here. So this is the chunk. So if I show you over here in the payload, this is the chunk. Okay. So in the fetch, you can see we are hitting the upload ID, chunk, and the chunk index. Method is post, and what are we sending? We are sending chunk. Content type is octet stream, which means we will accept bytes, file types basically. So now let's move back to the controller and let's see what happens when we hit this index, chunk/index endpoint. So yeah, we call the store chunk. In store chunk, see, these are again some checks and stuff. I don't want you to get confused in smaller details. So let's just go to the actual logic. We write the chunk to the upload storage. Now upload storage is nothing but basically we are simply maintaining the the file APIs like write, file reads, creating the folder, upload folder, the chunks folder, and all of that. So it's handling all of that for us. That is not the crux of this, this challenge or this problem. So I'll not go into detail. So we just write the chunk. So we send the bytes, the upload ID, and the index for which this particular chunk is. So I'll just show you once what happens in here in write chunk. Yeah, so write chunk is here. So as I said, see, we are hitting the files API, we are creating the chunks directory, and we are writing these bytes in this particular path. Okay, that's what we are doing, nothing else. and let's go back to our service. So once that is done, we update the status and all of that, and then we receive send the response that upload ID is this, index is this, and we have received this particular chunk. So this happens for all the chunks, and once it is done, we hit the upload complete endpoint. So you see here we are not sending anything. We are not sending anything in the payload. Okay. So let's go to the complete endpoint. So we are hitting the upload service complete upload. So in here, what do we do is we simply, so again, some validations we have over here that all the chunks are present, we don't have any missing chunks and stuff. And after that we update the metadata that we have now completed the upload, and we create a manifest. So this manifest is like is basically a single file which gives us information about whatever has happened with that particular file upload. Okay, so that's what this manifest is. I've also shown you the manifest in here. So this is the manifest which we are generating over here. So if you see, we are passing all of this upload ID, file name, whatever parameter you can see here, we have set over here. Okay, chunk metadata. So this chunk metadata is basically whatever the chunks we have uploaded. Okay, it has the path, it has the size, and it has the index. Okay, so yeah, that's it, and that's how we are handling the file upload. Okay, now let's take a look at how resume works. Okay, so to showcase resume, I'll choose a larger file for now. So let me choose a file, let me choose a large file. So let me just go into any of the created videos. Yeah, so see, this is a 604 MB long large file. Okay, so let me upload it. Now let me just throttle. So now, since I've throttled my network request over here, I'm unable to send more requests. Okay, basically I'm unable to now send more chunks. So I have only been able to successfully post 50 chunks, or let's say 51 chunks, since we begin at index 0. Now what happens? Let me take a look at what our container shows over here. So if I come over here for this particular session, the file name is jsquiz2. So we have mentioned that we have received 51 chunks. We had to receive 116 chunks. Okay, inside the chunks you can see that we have the parts till 50. Now with the resume, we will be able to resume this. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me make it no throttle, and now let me click on resume. Now how does this resume work? Let's quickly go over here and let's quickly see this. What is this? So we maintain a state in the local storage. This will go away as soon as the upload is done. Okay, so basically the upload is done. Okay, I think this will go away on refresh, but see, we maintain this state over here. Okay, and this tells us about the incomplete or failed uploads as well. So let me again walk you through the code of how we are dealing with this. So let's move back to our app.jsx. Now in here I collapsed this if block earlier, you remember. So basically this load saved upload is basically from the local storage we are getting if we have any upload, do we have any upload, and was that upload equal to the upload whatever the user has given now. Is it? If yes, then we will fetch the status of the previous upload. So we are fetching the upload the status of the previous upload. Okay, so we are getting the upload ID. This is the upload ID which we have stored over here, and we are fetching its status from the API. So let me go to our upload controller /status block. So this is the /status. Let's go to the get upload status. So here it is returning us the response. That's it. I think this is very much understandable. From here itself, whatever we are doing, we are sending the status. Now from the status, what we are checking is do Okay, so we are, from the status we are getting the upload ID and the chunk size, and we have also mentioned how many chunks have we received. So if you remember earlier when we saw this, it only had values up to 50, correct? I think this might have updated now. See, so in here we have a small check. We have a small check that we will only continue with those chunks which we have not received. So if we have received this chunk already, we will not post this chunk. Okay, so this is how we are managing the, resuming upload ability. Okay, so simply by maintaining this session over here. Okay, if I think if I see it now, this should have been updated. Let me see. So yeah, see, now let me open this again. Let me open this again. Was this the file? Okay, let me open this one once. Yeah, so we are getting all the chunks over here. I think, maybe it is coming from the cache or something. That's why. Yeah, see, now if I close it and open, see, we have received all the chunks. So this has been updated over here. Okay. So yeah, that is how we are handling the uploads. Now let's talk about the download file. So we have also given an option to download a particular file. Okay, so we can do it. So whenever we click on download, so we basically download the last uploaded file. Now again, this is not a production application. I just wanted to do it for the sake of understanding the stuff. That is why. So let's go and see in our code what are we doing whenever we are clicking on download. Okay, so let's go to the app.jsx. So in here, see, here is the handle download button, and whenever we click on download file, this is the function which we hit, and see, we are going to load completed down upload. So load completed upload basically gets the key from the local storage, and in local storage we are only storing the key for the last uploaded file. That is why. So yeah, let's move back to our handle download. So we are hitting the slash download endpoint. So let's move back to the slash download endpoint. So this is the slash download file endpoint. So in here again we are receiving the upload ID from the user, and we are getting the file bytes, and we are just returning all the files, basically the entire file byte. Okay, so we click on download file. Now in here in the download file section, this manifest is helping us get all the data. You see over here we are getting the manifest, okay, on the basis of our upload ID, and from the manifest I'm able to get all the chunks, correct? In the manifest we have all the chunks. Do I have any manifest open over here? Let me just show you once again. So yeah, in the manifest we have all the chunks over here. You see all the chunks over here. So now we are reading each and individual chunk, we are getting the bytes from there, and we are creating a particular stream in which we are concatenating all the bytes, and then at the end we are simply returning that stream. Okay, so that's what we are doing, and that's how we have handled downloads as well. If I click on save, it will be downloaded. I don't want to download it, okay, but it will be downloaded. Yeah, so that is it. I also created sequence diagrams to give you an idea of what is happening, but I think I've explained it well through the code. But I'll just put it here on the screen so that you can, maybe refer to it if you want to. So this is the sequence diagram for the slash upload slash init request, where the user selects the file, clicks upload, we hit the controller, we hit the service, we create a session, and then all of it is returned. This is the sequence diagram. Let me just shorten it, or yeah. So this is the sequence diagram for uploading the chunks, the individual chunks. So here we send bytes, okay, to the controller. It calls the service store chunk, okay, and then after some validation and stuff, we write the chunks. So you see over here, we write the chunks, okay, and then we return the response. This is the endpoint for slash complete. This is the sequence diagram for slash complete endpoint. So we hit the complete and upload. Again, some validation and stuff. And after that, we see over here that our chunks are done. We have uploaded all the chunks, we don't have any missing chunks. And then we say build the manifest. So we write the manifest file. After that, we return the response. This is the sequence diagram for resuming an upload. Okay, so yeah, if you want, you can maybe take a screenshot, or if you want to understand it in a deeper way, you can see this sequence diagram. Okay, this is for when we want to download a particular file. Okay, so I've gone through the code for all of these. Okay, and this is our GUI. So yeah, that should be it for this video. Okay, if I ever implement more functionalities into this, I would make a part 2 of this. Other than that, I think this should be it for now. Also, I'll uh, give my code code link on the video description, so you can check out my code, okay, if you want to. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye.